Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Papa Boris here, playing some more Guild of Dungeoneering. I'm not actually saving my gold, but there is nothing that I want to buy. I've got all the Tier 1 loot unlocked. I've got the class I want to play with, the trinket that I want to use. So we're just going to do nothing because there's nothing that I want to buy, not because we're trying to save money. Now, the new place has been opened, so we could just go in here and do an easy level 1 mission, but let's live on the edge. Let's start doing some more of the higher difficulty missions. In fact, is there like one that just ends? Yes. Okay, this is a tough one. And there's something here that I don't think I knew when I first played this game, judging by what happened in the early videos that I watched. And I would never have known if it weren't for one of those loading screen tips. Okay, so what's happening in this mission is there is this mimic who is chasing you. And this thing moves 2 squares a turn. So it catches up to you pretty fast, even if you get the right cards to walk away from it every turn, which as you can see I'm not really doing. I mean, this is a fountain, so like use at your own risk kind of a thing. So like, if you just do the math, you can't even reach this fountain, which would be nice to have, against the boss, unless you get a card that lets you move forward every single turn. Because you go, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you go around. And the mimic is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get you. But, according to the very helpful loading screen tips, if you put a monster in the way of the boss, like this, it will actually slow the boss down. And that is huge, because it cuts in half the speed with which the monster goes after, or with which the boss goes after you. So that's just like a really important piece of game information I wish that you did not have to wait to find out about in the loading screens. That's the kind of thing that would have been nice to tell the player when it first came up in a fight. But anyhoodle, we finally run out of magic blocks, so this thing is not quite dead, but now it will be dead. Very dead, in fact. Super as well as duper, overkilled by 2, dead. Oh, my baby's waking up. Gotta cut this video. Wow, I'm impressed. I just hit the Alt F4 keys after the baby woke up yesterday, and now I'm hopping back in, and we're continuing in the onwards direction. Alright, so it's our first item here. We can get Swift, Armor and Swift, or Holy and Fire. Well, that's an easy one. Holy and Fire it is. By the way, if you're wondering why I go for Holy Fire and Arcane and not like the physical stuff, there's actually nothing wrong with the physical skills. They're totally fine. Wait, what just happened? That's weird. Shoot! I feel like this thing shouldn't have gotten to go. Maybe when I hit Alt F4, it like ended my turn. Well, this is bad, because now I did not draw a thing that lets me move, because this is a dead end, and I'm going to end up fighting the Mimic in like a couple of turns. Oops! Okay, well, let's make the most of it. We'll have a fight against a ghost. I don't want to deal with the brittle skeleton, because I can't actually do 4 damage in a turn very easily. We'll stick a bandito here to stop the Mimic from attacking me. And hopefully we will get a chance to fight a level 3 enemy and go up to level 4 before we fight the boss. But even then, it's not like a guaranteed thing. So here, Flame Lash is actually not going to kill the ghost because of the Tenacious. But what I think is going to happen is that it's going to heal back up to 1, then die due to this burn. Yep. Okay, well, this is unfortunate, because the Masquerade Mask is amazing, but I'm already wearing a head item. This, I don't want the stupidity, and I think this is a case where I gotta just go for this, because this is good, but I need to just add more cards to my deck, and those are decent cards. They do decent damage. So we're just kind of hoping that we can fight a level 3, and there is no level 3. Okay, well, this is awkward, because I still can't actually connect to either of these. If I could have, like, I guess I could go down a square and then stick an enemy in the way, but no, then I'm just going to go and attack the enemy. Yeah, okay, so there's only nothing we can really do here except for hope that it's a good fountain. That can actually help against the boss if it's a good one. Fountain of Power, what's this one? Unblockable attacks gain 1 magical damage. See, it only really works on unblockable attacks. Does the Bruiser have any unblockable attacks? Oh, you do have 1. And then I have 1 from my Blade 2. Okay, so it's two cards in my deck get an extra damage. And you know what? That's about as good as I can hope for here. It'll take a little bit of luck to beat the Mimic, which is now going to attack me. But... Oh, this is actually not an unblockable attack. Oh, no. This is a bonus physical damage if the opponent plays an unblockable attack. Oops, I messed up, actually. I shouldn't have done this because I forgot that Fury gave it an extra damage, so my Spiky didn't apply. Luckily, I still beat it because it's only a level 2. So I really only have one thing that gets a bonus from it. Okay, we got lucky. We got the Mage Robes and the Glyph. So the Mage Robes is better because they both give Holy 1, Arcane 1, but this also gives Fire 1, which is good because it gets me Ignite. I am not a favorite to beat the Mimic right here. Certainly it's a stretch not being level 4. Ideally, you would fight a level 3 as a level 3 and go level up to 4 and get a level 3 equipment. And notice this thing has a lot of hit points. But, you know, it's not impossible. Okay, so this thing is brittle. I'm trying to figure out, is there any way that I could deal 4+ damage in a turn? And the main way is if I drew my Ignite card early, and then I did 3 damage somehow, that would work. Okay, sadly I cannot do this, so I'm going to end up discarding a card. What is the most important thing here? I think it's either to deal 2 damage to it and block one of these, or to block 1 and heal. I guess this is better. I lost my unblockable attack, which is the one that gains bonus damage. Well, this is hilarious, because I drew my Ignite, but it's actually getting blocked by the darkness, so we'll block this and heal. And do a spiky damage. And it's got a thing again! Oh my god! Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play the dice. It's a bit risky because if the thing ends up playing an unblockable card later, I might miss the extra damage. But, okay. We got a problem here. If I Ignite now, I will die to this headbutt. So, yeah, I'm just dead, unfortunately. I don't have the Tenacious thing here. So, it was close. Had I drawn map cards that would have allowed me to move up further away from the Mimic, I would have been in better shape because I could have potentially leveled up more before I ended up fighting it. Okay, my baby's going nuts. He's supposed to be napping, so we're going to go ahead and cut it here and resume in just a second. Alright, the baby's down. He just needed to do a little bit of screaming, I guess. Let's go ahead and expand the guild a little bit. I will unlock one of the other Tier 1 classes and try that mission again while we wait for the Bruiser to come back. So I think, from what I remember, one of the most popular classes was the Mime. The Mime has some interesting cards. This is just always a good one. This one's interesting. It's sort of like a magic damage and a physical block, only the magic damage is delayed. And having 2 physical blocks is nice, because a decent number of enemies do physical damage at this stage, and then 2 magic damage is pretty good. Like, the Bruiser doesn't have any built-in cards that do 2 or more damage. And then friggin' 3 of the cards interact with the enemy's deck. So discard is actually a really cool effect, because what it does is it lets you see the next 2 cards in the deck, and then you pick one of them to discard, so you can get rid of like a really devastating cards. And then cloning is interesting, because what it does is it adds a card to your hand that is a copy of the enemy's next card, so you can get some really cool stuff that way. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to grab the Apprentice, which is a bad class, but I just really like him. So he's got just a bunch of magic damage. Sadly, nothing that deals 2. This card, drawing 2 cards, is pretty weak, so it's just a lot of stuff that's not that good, but he starts with Fire 1, which is really cool, because I like the Fire skill, and it means that you only need 2 Fire in order to get up to Ignite, and only 3 Fire to get the Firestorm card, which is very, very strong. Okay, where is that Mimic? Yes, let's go ahead and try this out, and after we inevitably die here, we'll come back and fight it out with a Bruiser. No, the next time the Bruiser dies, maybe I'll unlock the Mime and do a run with the Mime. So, last time I do think I lost a turn because I quit the game and came back, so I might have a better luck this time. Okay, we have a decent enough start, so there's this. We'll do the Fire Imp, not the Spider, because the Spider's frail, but I don't do any physical damage. And then we're going to stick the Spider back here to slow down the Mimic. So with luck, we can get a way to get across in the next round. Actually, I could have actually put this here, couldn't I? Would that have been smarter? Yeah, probably, because then I could have either gone straight across or up and over. This way I'm only going straight across. Oops, that was a mistake. I can't actually believe I did that. Okay, so we'll do our 1 unblockable magic damage, as the Fire Imp will as well. Thanks to the Hug in a Bottle, we actually have a little bit of a lead. Zap is an important card. It only does 1 damage, but that can sometimes be crucial to kill the enemy who is at 1 hit point if the enemy were to kill you at the same time. In this particular case, it was not relevant, but it can be. Okay, I don't think anything is good here. Growth Swift, ugh. Armor Swift, ugh. I guess we'll go for Crush and Blade. It's a little bit weird going for the physical stuff on this magic character, but I think those are just the best cards. The 1 physical block is nice to have, and then just 2 physical damage is nice because this character does not ever do any damage more than 1, except for the card he gets from his fire trait. Okay, a bit of an awkward situation here because I'm headed back towards the Mimic, which is not awesome. I could roll the dice on this corridor, but I don't really see much point in that. Let's just put this here. Hopefully we'll go this way. Great, so we can put the Goblin up here to slow the enemy down. We're still going this way. Fantastic. And then... that was actually a misplay. I should have used this to connect, and I could have put this thing over here. Then I could have gotten up and over, or over and up. As it is, I'm limiting myself to just going over and up. So a little bit of misplays here. That fountain is not that big of a deal, the one that gives predictability. It's not very likely to make the difference between being or not being able to beat the final boss. Okay, nothing I got here is actually very helpful, but I will put corridor down. And should I put a guy down? See, I don't want to fight a level 2. I'd rather fight level 3s. So what I'm actually going to do is put another level 1 here. This way, the Mimic is delayed for the next 2 rounds, so if I get a bad draw, I have a little bit of leeway. We're fighting a little Mimic, not the Mimic Queen. Okay, can't use Bash here, so we'll just do our regular old Sparks. I mean, obviously I could save that for if it throws up a magic block. I don't know if this thing has any magic blocks. Drawing cards is risky because if I don't get something important, then I will wish that I had just done damage that round instead. But 2 cards is likely to make some kind of a difference at some point. Okay, we'll each take 2 damage. I could have bashed there to block one of these, but I'm going to take a gamble that I can do 2 damage and then finish it off with the zap. Ah, okay, so now we just win. And the Hug in a Bottle makes a difference, because I go down to 1, and had I been at not +1 health, I would have died there. Okay. Cooking Pot is Crush 1, Fire 1. We are going up the Crush tree, so there's some consideration for this. But we'll do this. I do think that that's better, because it gives me the Fire as well, plus the other skills I like, and I don't really care about Crush. And if you're curious, like, why not Crush? Like, no particular reason. It's just not my playstyle. I prefer the magic stuff. Okay, so here's where my mistake does come into play. If this had been an upwards-facing corridor, I could have actually put this corridor up here and gotten to the fountain. As it is, I am not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is choose which of these 3s to fight. Loner is what? Is this the one at a dead end? I really would like that, but there are no dead ends here. I actually could have placed a dead end here instead of this corridor. The Bandito is deceptive, only 7 hit points, but it has really strong cards. Fire Elemental is the one that has Burn, and I don't know if I can actually beat someone with Burn at only 7 hit points to this guy's 8. It's not like I have that much healing or anything, and my blessing has run out. Alright, we'll take our chances with the Bandito, though I think I could very easily die here. We'll stick a gem down and put the Fire Elemental up there just to block the Mimic Queen's next advance. If I do win this fight, I have a decent shot of winning overall, just because then I'll be level 4, I'll have a level 3 equipment, and I might get there. Now, the Bandito, this card is obviously not very good, but the Bandito has some really strong cards in there, so there is definitely some variance in these fights against the Banditos, because where in the deck their good cards are can have a pretty big impact on things. Okay, this is going to be really tight, because if he does a 3 damage dealing card here, which he has, then... oh god, okay, well that's annoying. So, this doesn't quite kill him. I die exactly to his swipe. The only way to survive is to play Bash, but the problem is that this Bash doesn't get through. If it had gotten through, I could have then killed him with Zap next turn, but now it's pretty much Flame Lash or bust. Oh my god, I actually drew the Flame Lash! Holy crap, that's amazing! Well, that was certainly lucky. I still had a pretty big deck. I definitely did not have to draw the Flame Lash. Okay, this is gonna get awkward, isn't it? Yes, it is. So, I'm wearing armor and I have a weapon. So, the wooden shield's the only new thing. Tenacious is pretty good, but I do love this flintlock. Yeah, because that takes me up to fire 4. I have 1 starting fire, my armor gives me 1 fire, and this gives me 2 fire. Fury is irrelevant because I'm not going to have any physical damage cards, but Look at that Firestorm, man. It's pretty sick. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And hopefully round out with some more Arcane or Holy stuff before we fight the Mimic Queen. Okay, well here I think we have a pretty easy call to make. Again, I can't connect to this fountain. I'd like to get to the fountain at some point, but I am not getting the cards for it. We'll put a Bear Owl down here. The Bear Owl should be pretty easy, and we'll stick another Fire Elemental here. It's nice that I drew the gem, guaranteeing I go down to the Bear Owl where the gem is instead of going back towards the Fire Elemental. I still could get back up here if I would just draw a card to connect. Then again, I can't complain about bad luck because I really could have already been able to connect here had I put the correct piece in this location. Okay, can't block this, it's unblockable. We'll do Sparks, save the zap. Luckily the Bear Owl isn't on Fury, so here Firestorm or something would be great. Didn't happen. I guess I'll do a Holy Seal. It prevents the discard, heals me, and lets me draw another card. I'm actually just going to grab Intuition. I've got a card that deals 4 damage. So if I just draw through my deck and find it, that'd be awesome. Okay, didn't happen. Well, okay. If I had a 2 damage dealing card, it'd be nice, because then I could kill it on the next turn with Flame Lash, but sadly I didn't. Ah, it's awkward. I guess we'll draw a card. I can still draw the Firestorm, which would be nice. It's like the last card in my deck. Okay, so here, I think I have to play the... Well, it's not like a genius move, but I gotta play the Ignite, and then kill him with Zap on the next turn. That burn from the Ignite ends up being pretty crucial, because this actually is lethal damage thanks to Fury, so once again, we barely get there, and Firestorm was, of course, the last card in my deck, but it doesn't really matter because I won anyway, so it's fine. Okay, we got Mariner's Medallion, which is awesome. Gives me Holy, gives me the Blessed ability, so now all cards that give a healing give 1 more healing. I guess I should say, if you heal from a card, you heal extra. Wow, the game just loves punishing me for this mistake. This card would have connected from up here, but not from here. Should I just give up at this point on getting over there? Well, let's fight another Bear Owl, and let's just stick another Bear Owl over here. I still can get up here, I think. Probably. We'll see. I am actually going to just draw 2 cards. With only 7 hit points, this Bear Owl is incredibly vulnerable to both Ignite and Firestorm. So if they're not at the very bottom of the deck, like look at that, that extra card draw got me to Ignite sooner, then I can be in really good shape. Okay, that's a really good card to block. I'm going to block it with Holy Seal, because if I do a Fire Shield and hit it for 1 damage, it's going to turn on Fury. As it is, it's not going to turn on Fury yet from the Ignite. See, it's going to burn. Had I dealt an extra damage, he'd have Fury on this attack. Next up, we'll just keep it simple here. It actually doesn't matter what I do, as long as it's not Flame Lash. So I let him hit me, I do 1 damage to him, he burns 1 damage. There's no magic block in this deck, and then Flame Lash quick kills him off. Although it didn't even need to be quick, I had enough hit points to survive. So yeah, we can pretty much murder Bear Owls here. Conch is interesting. I don't want to lose the Mariner's Medallion, though. I mean, obviously this is really great to get up to Arcane 4. God, it's so great. Ah, it's so freaking good. But yeah, I don't want to lose the Blessing, so we're going to just take... I'm actually going to just take the gold like this instead of doing this, because that gives me a gold card to place. Now, that means I'm drawing 1 fewer card, but it does give me more control over how things work. And again, I could have connected from here, but I can't. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually place this fountain, and let's see if it's a good one, because maybe it's a good one, and then I have it versus the final boss. Heroism, is that any good? What is Heroism? 1 healing per damage block. That is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to fight a Bandito to get another level 3 item. A headpiece would be nice. Everything else I'm very happy with, but it'd be nice to get a good headpiece. We'll put that down there, and I'm not going to care that I didn't block the Mimic Queen anymore. I am basically, after this fight, ready to fight the Mimic Queen. Okay, so he drew his good card right away. I will just draw 2 cards here. I could have dealt a damage, but I think it's more important for me to get blocks and stuff, and things like Ignite. I could not block. This is an unblockable card. I'm actually a little bit vulnerable here, but as long as I can block what he plays, I heal a good bit. This is actually going to heal me from my Blessed ability. Right, my Fountain's not active yet. Right. So the Fountain's not yet active. I'm going to go for Mind Strike, because if I get Flame Lash, I can actually kill him next turn. So I want to draw cards. Thanks to this Igniting. Did I get Flame Lash? I did. And I was going to live anyway, and there's Firestorm too. Okay. So the Bandito's still a little bit scary, even when you're as strong as I am here. Gotta be careful. Alright, we got a Feathered Cap, which is... Actually, I'll take that. With the Mariner's Medallion, the first couple of growth cards are really solid, because they heal you extra. And now I am with this fountain ready to just fight the Mimic Queen. So I'm not going to place any monsters because I don't want to fight them, since the way the fountains work is they go away after your next fight. So we are just ready to roll and kill this queen with the apprentice, which is great, because I didn't have very high hopes for this apprentice, but you know, when you get good equipment, pretty much any class will do. Okay, so she's brittle. I do a Firestorm, which will work. Oh, this is a tough one. So I'm going to lose a card. Do I give up on 3 hearts, or do I give up on Ignite? I'm going to do Ignite. It's freaky that I have a 50-50 shot of losing. Okay, I kept my healing card, luckily, but the Ignite makes it much easier to activate this brittleness. Okay, be careful. Don't play Restore here, because it will get blocked. The Firestorm is unblockable in addition to dealing a massive 4 damage, and it's actually 6 because of the Mimic Queen's brittleness. And she's still burning. Wow, hilariously, I still cannot use my Restore. Luckily, I've got 2 hit points left over, and this unblockable damage from my starting apprentice card gets through, and she burns to death. Yay! Alright, folks, we did it. Oh no, Punch Drunk. Start with Stupidity 1. Not a good bonus. But it's an early stage, and it'll... Well, I guess we have to keep playing with the apprentice now, because we got to see what does Punch Drunk turn into. It actually is a pretty good one. I'll be happy to get it if we can get there, if the apprentice can survive another couple of fights. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.